science which deals with study of fruits is called pomology. Actually, fertilized ovary is called fruit, but in some plants, without fertilization, ovary forms fruit. If without fertilization, ovary forms fruit, it is called parthenocarpy, and such fruits are called parthenocarpic fruits. Generally, parthenocarpic fruits are seedless. Example for parthenocarpic fruits: 𝗧 means a banana and grapes. So in parthenocarpic fruits, seeds are absent, but some parthenocarpic fruits like a banana, in banana that false seeds present, because without fertilization that ovule forms seed, so it is without embryo, so such seeds are called pseudoseeds. They fails to germinate. One is false fruit, and second one true fruit. So two types of fruits, false and true fruits. And false fruit. False fruit means except ovary. If any other part of flower forms a fruit, it is called false fruit. And false fruits are also called pseudocarps. Example for false fruit: one is apple, scientific name is Pyrus malus. In apple, edible part is thalamus. And second one, anacardium. Anacardium, cashew nut, in which edible part is pedicel. These are about false fruits. Actually, true fruits means if fertilized ovary or if ovary forms fruit after fertilization, called true fruits. Generally, true fruits are three types: simple fruits, then second one aggregative fruits, and the third one multiple or a compound or a composite fruits. Three types. So first one, simple fruit. Simple fruit, it is developed from single ovary of a flower. The fruit is developed from single ovary of a flower, called simple fruits. Simple fruits again classified into two types. One is fleshy fruits, and second one dry fruits. Fleshy and dry fruits. Fleshy fruits, in which entire fruit is fleshy except seeds. If entire fruit is fleshy and except seeds, called fleshy fruits. And in fleshy fruits, after the decay of pericarp or a fruit wall, that the seeds are released, called fleshy fruits. Types of fleshy fruits: one is berry, then pome, pepo, then drupe and hesperidium. These are types of fleshy fruits. So first one, berry. Berry is characteristic fruit of Solanaceae. It is characteristic fruit of Solanaceae. Berry, it is developed from, generally it is developed from bicarpellary, syncarpus and a superior ovary in Solanaceae, tomato and even chili. In some plants, this berry fruit is developed from inferior ovary. Inferior ovary. Example, coffee and even musa, banana. And in coffee, edible part is perisperm. And identification for berry. Identification for berry, in which mesocarp and endocarp fuse to form pulp. It is berry. Next one, pome. Pome fruit is developed from biar multicarpellary, syncarpus and superior ovary. Superior ovary. And in pome, true fruit present at center. True fruit contains hard pericarp and also seeds. And is hard pericarp present in that drupe, and in pome, true fruit is surrounded by false edible thalamus. Example, apple. Then berry, pome. Next one, pepo. Pepo, it is characteristic fruit of Cucurbitaceae. It is characteristic fruit of Cucurbitaceae. So, characteristic fruit of Cucurbitaceae. So, fruit is developed from tricarpellary, syncarpus, unilocular ovary with a parietal placentation. And in pepo, epicarp fuse with thalamus and forms rind. Then mesocarp is fleshy and endocarp edible. Example is that a cucurbita. The next one, drupe. So drupe is single-seeded fleshy fruit. So generally fleshy fruits multi-seeded, but drupe, it is single-seeded fleshy fruit. And drupe is developed from monocarpellary, unilocular, superior ovary in mango. In coconut, this drupe is developed from tricarpellary, syncarpus ovary. In both coconut and mango, in both fruits, epicarp is leathery. In both fruits, epicarp is coriaceous, means epicarp is leathery. In both fruits, endocarp is hard. So, because of that, drupes are called stones or stony fruits. Difference between main edible part. In mango, mesocarp is edible in mango. In coconut, mesocarp is fibrous. Coconut, mesocarp is fibrous. This is drupe. Then, next one, Hesperidium. Hesperidium fruit. It is characteristic fruit of Rutaceae family or orange family, citrus example. And this Hesperidium fruit developed from multicarpellary, syncarpous, multilocular and superior ovary. Then point, in this fruit, epicarp leathery or Epicarpus coriaceus, leathery or coriaceous, and this epicarp contains oil ducts. These oil ducts are lysogenous cavities, that cavities formed due to lysis of cells. Then epicarp is formed by mesocarp. Mesocarp is thin and papery. Then endocarp. Here in this fruit, endocarp forms edible, juicy hairs. It is about fleshy fruits. So, how many types? 5 types fleshy fruits. Among 5 types, drupe develop from monocarpellary, and drupe is single seeded. Then next, pepo and pome, they develop from inferior ovary. Pepo and pome. Pepo, parietal placentation. Pome, true fruit is surrounded by false fruit. And in pepo, there is rind. Rind is formed by epicarp and thalamus. Then, next one, berry. Berry is identified by presence of pulp. Pulp is formed by mesocarp and endocarp. Then Hesperidium, edible part in Hesperidium, that is what? Endocarp. This endocarp forms edible, juicy hairs. Among fleshy fruits, edible parts, coconut, edible part, endosperm. Mango, edible part, mesocarp. Edible part is mesocarp. So, this is about fleshy fruits. Then, next one, dry fruits. Dry fruits means pericarp is dry at maturity. If pericarp is dry at maturity, called dry fruits. Actually, dry fruits are divided into 3 groups or 3 types. One is dry dehiscent. And second one, dry indehiscent. So, one is dry dehiscent, second one, dry indehiscent, and the third one is schizocarpic fruits. These are 3 types of dry fruits. In this, first one, dry dehiscent. Dry dehiscent means pericarp dry at maturity and a pericarp involved in liberation of fruits called dry dehiscent. Types of dry dehiscent: legume, then siliqua, silicula, then follicle and capsule. These are the types of dry dehiscent. The first one, follicle. Follicle and a legume both are developed from follicle and a legume both are developed from monocarpellary unilocular ovary. But differences: follicle, in which fruit breaks only one side, that too ventral side, follicle. Example for follicle, 𝗘𝘅𝗺𝗺. Then second one, legume. Legume is characteristic fruit of 𝗬𝗫𝗁𝗍. 𝗬𝗫𝗁𝗍 means developed from monocarpellary, unilocular, marginal placentation. And in legume, fruit breaks both dorsi-ventrally and liberates seeds, called legume. Third one, siliqua. Siliqua fruit, siliqua and silicula, both types of fruits common in 𝗳𝗧𝗺𝗃𝗃. Old name is a cruciferae, in which fruit is developed from bicarpellary, unilocular, but it becomes bilocular due to false septum. That false septum is called a rhiplum. Generally, that seeds attach to rhiplum, and after maturity, this pericarp break from bottom to top and expose that rhiplum for seed dispersal, called siliqua. Example, mustard. Another type, silicula. This silicula is exactly similar to siliqua, but this silicula contains only limited number of seeds. So a siliqua with a limited number of fruits is called a silicula. Example for silicula, 𝗂𝗽𝗱𝗁 𝗵𝗂. Common name is shepherd's purse. And next type of dry dehiscent fruit is a capsule. Next type is capsule. Here, capsule means almost, it shows almost all characters. Like capsule developed from monocarpellary or multicarpellary, unilocular or multilocular, superior or inferior ovary. Then types of capsule, first one, septicidal capsule, loculicidal capsule, septifragal capsule, then porous capsule, then pyxidium or pyxis. These are types of capsules. So under this first one, septicidal. For example, septicidal means this is one carpel, second like this carpel. Then after this carpel grow inwards, and this portion is called septa. So septicidal capsule. If fruit wall breaks along the septa, called a septicidal capsule. Example, Aristolochia. Then second one, loculicidal type of capsule. Loculicidal. Here, fruit wall breaks in the middle part of locule, called a loculicidal capsule. Example, Bendi, scientific name is 𝗹𝗁𝗺𝗃. Then third one, septifragal capsule. Septifragal. Septifragal means it shows either septicidal or loculicidal type of dehiscence. If it shows either septicidal or loculicidal type of dehiscence, called a septifragal. Example for septifragal, datura and nicotiana. Septifragal. Third one, porous capsule. This porous capsule, it is developed from either superior ovary or it is developed from inferior ovary. It is developed from superior ovary, that a pores formed on upper side. Example, papaver. It is developed from inferior, that pores formed on lower side. Example, that argemone. Next one, pyxis or pyxidium. Pyxis or pyxidium means, in this, that a capsule, it breaks pyxidium. In this type, capsule breaks horizontally and it forms two parts. Lower cup-like part contains seeds and upper lid. Example for pyxidium. Pyxidium is common in amaranthus and one is amaranthus and celosia. Celosia, common name is coxcomb. In this, what type of fruit is present means pyxidium. So these are dry dehiscent fruits. Next one, dry indehiscent fruits. Dry indehiscent. So next one is dry indehiscent fruits. Dry indehiscent fruits, after the decay of pericarp, that the seeds are released. If after the decay of pericarp, seeds released, it is called dry indehiscent fruits. Dry indehiscent. Then types of dry indehiscent. One is echine. Then caryopsis. Then cypsela, nut, and samara. These are dry indehiscent fruits. So first one, echine fruit develop from monocarpellary unilocular. In this type, fruit wall called pericarp and seed coat are free, called echine. Example for echine, one is clematis and second one Narvalia. Then second one, Caryopsis fruit. Caryopsis fruit, it is characteristic fruit of Poaceae. Old name is a graminae. And in Caryopsis, that fruit is developed from monocarpellary, unilocular. But point is, in this type, that a fruit wall and a pericarp are refused. Generally, common in grains like rice, wheat, even maize. In this, edible part is endosperm. Next fruit. Next is 𝗬𝗓𝗯. 𝗬𝗓𝗯 is a characteristic fruit of 𝗂𝗽𝗱, old name. New name is Asteraceae. 𝗬𝗓𝗯 is characteristic fruit of 𝗂𝗽𝗱 or Asteraceae. The 𝗬𝗓𝗯 is developed from bicarpellary, syncarpus, inferior ovary and single ovule present at base. So it is called basal placentation. And 𝗬𝗓𝗯 fruit is characterized by the presence of calyx. But how this calyx present means, this calyx reduced to hairs called a pappus, and during fruit dispersal, the pappus open like a parachute, hence it is called parachute mechanism. Example for 𝗬𝗓𝗯 is a tridax. So next fruit, nut. Nut fruit is developed from multicarpellary. Nut is developed from multicarpellary, then a syncarpus, unilocular, and single seeded, but this seed is free from fruit wall. Among indehiscent, this in nut, pericarp is hard, and in nut, true and false fruits side by side. Example for nut, anacardium, common name is cashew nut. In anacardium, edible part, pedicel and also cotyledons. Then under dry indehiscent, last one is samara fruit. Samara fruits, also called key fruits. Key fruits, and the samara fruit is identified by the presence of wings. Winged fruit is actually called samara fruit. And in example for this samara, ventilago. In ventilago, style is persistent, feathery and help in fruit dispersal. So these are dry indehiscent fruits. So first one dry dehiscent, second one dry indehiscent fruits, and the third one is 𝗧𝗦𝗃𝗃 fruits. 𝗧𝗦𝗃𝗃 fruits means these fruits shows both the dehiscent and indehiscent characters. If fruit shows dehiscent and indehiscent characters, such fruits are called 𝗧𝗦𝗃𝗃 fruits. 𝗧𝗦𝗃𝗃 fruits. Then, in 𝗧𝗦𝗃𝗃 fruits, that fruit wall breaks into single-seeded bits called a 𝗂𝗽 or mericarp. They breaks, so that is dehiscent character. Then this 𝗂𝗽 or mericarp, they contain seeds, and after the decay of pericarp, that seeds are released. That is indehiscent character. Then types of 𝗧𝗦𝗃𝗃 fruits. One is Lomentum. Second one Cremocarp. Then Regma. Then Carcerulus. Lomentum, Cremocarp, Regma, and Carcerulus. So first one, Lomentum. Lomentum fruit. This Lomentum is a characteristic fruit of Mimosaceae family. Lomentum, characteristic fruit of Mimosaceae family. In this fruit is constricted by seeds. Fruits constricted by seeds. Then these fruits breaks into single-seeded bits. After that, pericarp denatured, then that seeds are released. Example for Lomentum, Acacia. Second one, Cremocarp. Cremocarp is a characteristic fruit of Umbelliferae, old name, and new name is Apiaceae. Then Cremocarp, fruit is developed from bicarpellary, syncarpus, and inferior ovary. Then this fruit breaks into two single-seeded bits called mericarps. These two mericarps attached to a stalk. That stalk is called carpophore, and a carpophore is elongated part of thalamus. Example for a cremocarp is a coriander. Third type, Regma. Regma fruit is a characteristic fruit of 𝗹𝗶𝗍 family. Regma, characteristic fruit of 𝗹𝗶𝗍 family. So it is developed from 𝗹𝗶𝗍, developed from tricarpellary, syncarpus, trilocular, and axial placentation. That is why that fruit breaks into three single-seeded bits called 𝗂𝗽. Example for Regma, that 𝗹𝗶𝗍. Next one, 𝗂𝗽𝗓𝗪. 𝗂𝗪𝗪, right? This 𝗂𝗪𝗪, characteristic fruit of 𝗬𝗵𝗔𝗃. Old name, new name is 𝗬𝗵𝗔𝗃. This fruit actually it is bicarpellary, bilocular. Due to false septum, it is tetralocular. Then that fruit breaks into 4 single-seeded bits, but that bit contains hard pericarp. Hence it is called nutlet. Example is ocimum. Another type of schizocarpic fruit is actually schizocarp. Schizocarp fruit. This schizocarp fruit common in Malvaceae family. Malvaceae. Then it is developed from multicarpellary syncarpous multilocular and a superior ovary. That fruit breaks into single seeded bit in sida, or that fruit breaks into multi-seeded bits in abutilon. So these are schizocarpic fruits. So under simple fruits, fleshy and dry fruits. So next, second type of fruit is called aggregative fruits. Aggregative fruits, they develop from multicarpellary but apocarpous pistil. So each carpel develops into a small fruit called fruitlet, and rightly a bunch of fruitlets are called iterio. Iteria of berries seen in polyaldea and even annona, custard apple. But in annona, custard apple, all these fruitlets get fused and it looks like a single fruit. Iteria of berries. Next one, iteria of achenes. For this example, Nervalia. The next one, iteria of drupes. Rubus, common name, raspberry. These are aggregative fruits. Last one, multiple fruits or compound or composite fruits. Compound or composite fruits. Multiple fruits means if fruits develop from inflorescence. If fruits develop from inflorescence, called a multiple, compound or composite fruits. These multiple fruits are two types: psoriasis and Cyconus. 𝗧𝗏𝗧 fruit develop from spike, catkin or spadix inflorescence. Catkin, 𝗂𝗽𝗍𝗪𝗏. Spadix, next one spadix. Spadix 𝗧𝗏𝗧 𝗚𝗨 or mulberry. And example, another example, pineapple and also jackfruit for 𝗧𝗏𝗧. Cyconus, also called fig. Cyconus, characteristic fruit of Moraceae family. In Cyconus, pedunculus 𝗧𝗪𝗔, pedunculus 𝗧𝗪𝗔 and edible. Actually, upper part of peduncle contains male flowers. Lower part of peduncle, it contains female flowers. Female flowers, two types, fertile and sterile. These fertile female flowers converted into achenes, rightly called multiples of achenes. So, multiple fruits. Multiple fruits, also called composite fruits or compound fruits. They develop from inflorescence. Based on inflorescence, multiple fruits divided into two types. One is 𝗧𝗏𝗧, it is developed from spike, catkin or spadix. Example for 𝗧𝗏𝗧, one is Ananas sativus, pineapple, and second one jackfruit, even 𝗧𝗏𝗧 𝗚𝗨, mulberry and 𝗂𝗽𝗪𝗏. Then Cyconus or fig, it is characteristic fruit of Moraceae. Genus Ficus. In this, actual pedunculus 𝗧𝗪𝗔 and edible. Then marginal part of peduncle contains male flowers, lower side that are female flowers present. Female flowers, two types, fertile and sterile. Sterile flowers are called gall flowers, and after fertilization, these fertile female flowers converted into fruits called achenes. So, this is about fruit. After this, in this, there is one small topic, that is what means structure of seed. Structure of seed. So, what is seed? Seed means fertilized ovule. So, after fertilization, ovule is converted into seed, and after fertilization, ovary converted into fruit. So now, structure of seed, either dicot seed and also monocot seed. Here, seed means this seed contains seed coats. Outer seed coat is called a testa. Inner seed coat is called a tegmen. Rightly, inside seed, embryo is present. And this seed contains scar called hilum. Hilum is the point where that fruit attached to seed. Then, at the time of germination, that embryo come out from seed, it develops into axis called embryonic axis or tigellum. Then this tigellum contains node called embryonic node. Either ends of embryonic axis develops bud, first formed bud called a radical, later formed bud is called a plumule. Rightly, radical gives rise to root system. So embryonic root is called radical. Then plumule gives rise to shoot system. So embryonic shoot is called plumule. Then this embryonic node, it develops cotyledons, and a cotyledons are a first formed leaves. Then embryonic axis between embryonic node and plumule is called epicotyle. Embryonic axis between embryonic node and a radical is called hypocotyle. Generally in dicots, that seed is non-endospermic. So non-endospermic seed present in dicots. So in dicots, that cotyledons are often fleshy. But there are some dicots, like a castor. In castor, the seed contains endosperm, so called endospermic seeds. Other than castor, the Solanaceae members. In Solanaceae members, it is dicot family, but seed is endospermic. It is about dicot seed. Next one, monocot seed. In monocots, actually, in monocots, pericarp is fused with the seed coat. In monocots, pericarp fused with the seed coat. Monocots. So monocots, pericarp fused with the seed coat. Then generally in monocot seeds, or endospermic. That endosperm is bulky and it is surrounded by protein layer called hyaluron layer, Even in monocots, there is plumule, then radical, but only in monocots. Plumule and radical both are enclosed by protective layers. Protective layer of radical is called a 𝗂𝗽𝗍. Protective layer of plumule is called a 𝗂𝗽𝗱𝗁. The monocots contains single large cotyledon. This single large cotyledon is called scutellum. Generally, monocots are endospermic seeds, but some monocots like orchids, non-endospermic. Orchids, non-endospermic seeds. So next one, types of seed germination. Types of seed germination. Radical, plumule, embryonic node, cotyledons, embryonic axis between node and plumule, epicotyle, so it is hypocotyle. So types of seed germination, 3 types: epigel, hypogel and vivipary. So epigel means in this type cotyledons become above the ground. Epigel, cotyledons are above the ground. It is due to elongation of hypocotyle. Second one, hypogel germination. Hypogel, in this type, cotyledons are below the ground. It is due to elongation of epicotyle. Third one, it is called a vivipary or aerial seed germination. It is common in mangroves. So, what is aerial seed germination means? That a seed germination takes place inside the fruit, that a fruit still attached to its a parent plant called viviparous. Example, mangroves. Now, I will discuss about key points or important points in that of fruits. Actually, only fruit producing plants are angiosperms. Actually, flowering plants, gymnosperms and angiosperms. But in gymnosperms, carpels are open. In gymnosperms, carpels are open, so no formation of ovary. So fruits are absent. In angiosperms, that carpel is converted into ovary. style, stigma. So, in angiosperms, that the fruits are formed. So, here points in first, let us see about fleshy fruits. Only in fleshy fruits, rightly fruit wall is called pericarp. Only in fleshy fruits, that pericarp differentiated into three layers: epicarp, mesocarp and endocarp. So, in fleshy fruits, entire fruit is fleshy, only seeds are hard. And in fleshy fruits, if question, fleshy fruit develop from single carpel, monocarpel, means a drupe. Generally, fleshy fruits are multi-seeded, but single-seeded fleshy fruit, drupe. Only fleshy fruits, in fleshy fruits, which among drupe, which layer is hard means endocarp. Endocarp is hard. So, these fruits are called stony fruits. Like that, fleshy fruits which are developed from inferior ovary. Fleshy fruits develop from inferior ovary. One is pepo and second one is pome. Fleshy fruits with a leathery or coriaceous epicarp. One is Hesperidium and second one is drupe. In this, epicarp is leathery. Identification for berry fruit. Only berry is characterized by the presence of pulp. Pulp is formed by mesocarp and endocarp. Mesocarp and endocarp. Next, pepo. Identification for pepo. In pepo, there is rind. Rind is present. Rind is formed by epicarp and thalamus. This is about fleshy fruits. Then, dry fruits. Dry fruits. Dry fruits, only one fruit develop from semi-inferior ovary. That is what means legume. Only legume is developed from developed from semi-inferior ovary, legume, or marginal placentation. That is what? Legume, marginal placentation, legume, among dry dehiscent fruits. Then, dry indehiscent fruits. In dry indehiscent fruits, which dry indehiscent fruit develop from inferior ovary? Dry indehiscent fruit develop from inferior ovary. That 𝗬𝗓𝗧. 𝗬𝗓𝗧, it is developed from inferior ovary. In dry indehiscent fruit, in which fruit pericarp is hard? Pericarp is hard means nut. Similarly, schizocarpic fruits. In schizocarpic fruits, lumentum. Lumentum is developed from monocarpellary, but it is divided into many single-seeded bits called 𝗂𝗽 or mericarps. Ratio of carpels to 𝗂𝗽 or mericarps, 1:many. That is what means lumentum. Among schizocarpic, only cremocarp is developed from inferior ovary, and a cremocarp in which mericarps attached to elongated part of thalamus, that is called what? Carpophore.